anywhere.
Oh yeah. Hey, are we there? All right, guys. Time to Spencer, you
Whoa!
ready?
I have
Andrew's
this
being lame and
drink.
not grabbing one. Just kidding. He's nice and
I
great. Let's
already.
do
I don't
this.
want to drink too many.
Ooh, mine's the classic pineapple bubbly.
I don't actually. I drank all the water in the countdown.
Yes, I was
So
muted. Good job,
Did
me.
you? You
yeah.
can't even
So many
give
things
us
to
a limit?
unmute. It's fine. But yeah, it's a Sprite lemonade. Feels good.
Hey, want a Sprite cranberry?
I saw it at Sobeys, and I really wanted to try it, but I haven't tried it yet.
What, a Sprite cranberry?
No, it's done Sprite lemonade.
Yeah, but do you want a Sprite cranberry?
I'm gonna say no to
Sprite
that.
cranberry?
Something's gonna happen. Anyways,
No,
before we
that's
get
just
into
that
it,
was just a meme from
It was a
I know it
meme.
was a
like
meme. It was a meme
2
for a
years
long
ago
while.
or something with
Yeah.
LeBron James or something, and he was
I do
like,
remember
"Hey."
that. I do remember that commercial.
There was a weird animated commercial, and it was it
Very
was kind of
creepy.
it kind of reminds me of the Grubhub commercial. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I get you.
But anyway, that's
Okay,
that's neither
let's
here
do
nor
the
there.
intro, and then we can just talk about whatever the heck we want to talk
I
about.
didn't even knew we had an intro, but let's
Well,
do it.
I have to understand. I have to intro.
Okay,
Welcome to Young
okay.
Humanity. This is the podcast we do every 2 weeks. Essentially, we discuss stuff that could be beneficial to your life, to learn from our mistakes, learn from our stories, and have fun along the way. And this is mostly aimed for young adults and high schoolers for the most part, but I think anyone can really take this information and learn from it. So, anyways, tonight we had the
Seniors.
lovely title. Yeah, seniors, please take all the information. We can offer you so much.
We're really wise.
Youthfulness. Yeah, youthfulness. Tonight's episode, we're gonna be talking more about high school and our experience with that, but that'll happen later in the show. So, anyways, how are you guys doing? What did you guys do this week?
You know what? I just entered and completed the run of the best Pokemon tournament ever. Okay.
Did you win or lose?
I won. Spencer can confirm
Yep.
that I won.
100%.
I didn't
100%
win
right.
the tournament, but I won some games.
He won some games because people didn't show up.
No. So the first one I won out of reality. Second one I lost. The third one I lost. The fourth one, no one showed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
The fifth one I lost. The sixth one I won. The seventh one, no one showed up. Okay. So really, I won some. Okay.
What place did you get?
It was not really a place because Pokemon tournaments are not like brackets usually.
Oh.
They're just like a Swiss bracket, and then the top cut of the Swiss bracket gets to go into a single elimination bracket. So I just didn't make it, but I went 4-3. So whatever rank that is.
Or no,
What they
negative
say.
It is. No, it's positive. I won 4. I lost 3.
Okay, so you lost the
But
ones that
anyway.
you should have won. Is really what happened.
Yeah. So if I won all of those, then I would have made top cut, but I didn't.
Next time.
You know what?
I like your
could have
cut,
won.
G.
I've got a haircut since last August.
You've had a haircut before then.
No.
Or during this.
No. I got a haircut just before my friend's wedding, and I haven't got a haircut since then.
Dang.
So, and I just try to hide it all back here. So if I turn my head, you're gonna see it all.
Do it.
Look at this.
And there it is.
Honestly,
there's the flow.
Dude, you gotta do the ponytail, man. You gotta do it.
No.
That'd be outstanding.
But you know what? Besides that, I've just been really the main focus of my week is going to bed on time and journaling, which I've actually the last month I have journaled more than I have in the last year. I started this journal at the start of the pandemic, roughly, coincidentally. Because it was like just before the pandemic, so I didn't know about the pandemic. It's not like a pandemic journal, but essentially it is now. And the first half of it is like the last year and 2 months, and then the second half of it is like the last month. So
wow, that's impressive, man. I've heard and read about that journaling is really important.
Well,
it's actually
because
a very good field to do.
It helps you realize when you're being dumb, which is all the time for me. If you're really smart, it might not be as helpful. But if you're dumb like me, I really recommend it. It makes you seem a lot smarter. Okay, so just keep that in mind.
I will keep that in mind.
Anyway, that's what I've been doing this week. No, well,
I should journal.
Anyway,
I actually do a little bit. Anyways, that's all you did for this week?
Well, I did lots of other things, but I don't know if you want me to tell you every single thing I did this week.
Well, like highlight.
I can.
What's
well, I made some hot dogs just before this. Spencer can attest that I, for weeks, have been saying I want a hot dog, and no one gives me any. Okay,
Do you have a Costco membership?
No, I don't know. Why
Oh.
does everyone want? I can't go. I'm just gonna go to Costco for like I have to buy things when I go
Dude,
there.
the hot dog there's like $1.50,
I
and it
know,
is
but the
amazing.
Costco membership's not gonna pay for itself. Okay, I don't go there often enough. Anyway, the point is that I made hot dogs because
Yes.
no one would give me any, and then I had some sausages in the fridge. So then I just made. They're not really hot dogs because I didn't have hot dog buns, so it was just bread.
Did you like roll bread over the hot dog
Yeah,
pretty much? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I
and
mean,
it was
that's
it's it's
Yeah.
good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I added some other stuff in there that was neat. You know, um, and really, I mean, other than the hot dog and the Pokemon, this whole
That's been
week
about it.
has been a blur, and I basically just survived by working. And I've really all I can recollect other than that is that I've been reading and journaling on a daily basis because I'm
Right.
so amazing. Just kidding. I've only been doing that for like the past few weeks, but I'm trying to keep
Still
doing
good. It's a good habit to continue to work on.
that. Yes, yes. Some are calling it good.
What the heck? All right, Spence,
Hey.
what did you do this week?
I worked a lot.
Yeah,
That's basically it. I don't know.
that's
I drove
basically it.
around a lot. I went to places, clean places, all that fun stuff. Played
have
some
to clean
games
for your
with
job?
Andrew. What?
You have to clean for your job?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
cleaning up the competition.
I'm a summer grunt.
Oh yeah, okay.
I have to. I do what they tell me to do. I'm like, yes, I Captain.
Yes,
And I
sir,
go
I'll
and
be
do it,
there,
and I
sir.
mean, it's a good job. So I mean, I'm not complaining. It's fun.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like you're complaining.
Sometimes you got to do the grind out the work a little bit to get where you want to go. Is that forced housing? I
Grind.
think so. Oh my goodness.
No.
Did you play some games with Andrew Spencer? That's what you were saying?
yeah, we played some Genshin Impact.
Oh, nice.
Fun times. I'll name drop the game.
Oh, name drop the game.
My Venti finally has all plus 20 artifacts, Spencer.
Hey,
Right.
feels
Too bad
good,
he
man.
still
Feels
sucks.
good.
I
because
genuinely hope none of our viewers are understanding what you guys are both discussing right now.
What do
Hey
you
man, you
want
played it
from me,
before. It was
Josh?
fun. It's good stuff.
It was fun.
It was.
new area coming.
But no longer.
I just kept not getting the characters I wanted. It was a big problem for me. Anyways.
Well, you got your game.
That's why you
baby.
just choose to want the characters you have. Okay.
Hey, you know what? We can apply it to life. You just have to be happy with what you currently have, regardless
Yeah,
of
Josh.
good or bad.
Hey, Spencer, I just noticed your Monster Cat poster.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's been there for a long time.
A long time.
Yeah, I figured that it probably has been because we were listening to Monster Cat like in high school.
Yeah.
But I just kind of like I didn't like connect the dots.
I also have a Carnage poster.
Yeah, it's kind of behind your mic.
It's behind your mic.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. But it's Carnage.
We'll trust you. We'll trust you.
Saw the trailer, looking pretty spicy, but
I remember back in high school, we never assumed, or I never assumed Carnage was ever going to be in a live action movie because he's so violent and so much CGI and stuff involved. And lo and behold, in 2021, I think the movie's coming out. It's coming out this year or next year.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But anyways, we're talking about high school, and that's what this podcast or this part of the show will be about. Is because we were having a quick discussion before we went live, and how we look back on our high school lives now, which was literally 7 years ago, which I think is kind of crazy. It's actually amazing me how quickly time has passed since we were in high school, and what we would do differently, what we would tell ourselves, those kind of things. Because I know on the last episode we touched on what we do 5 years ago, and this was when we were, I guess, 2 years out of high school. So some of us were in university, some of us were working, whatever it was. What would we do different in high school? Let's start with what did you guys like about high school? Like, what's a highlight for you guys? What was something you're like, I remember that and that was good? That might be tough as I'm squinting, but what was something you actually enjoyed?
Oh, poor Andrew.
I mean, what did I like about high school is I liked that
You finished it.
it was over. No, I mean it's I mean if I have to fine tune through it, it's you get a long lunch break. You get to hang out or be near your friends during your work day. Whereas, hopefully you can have friends at your job, but sometimes
No.
your coworkers are just, your coworkers and you have a
Yeah.
purely professional relationship. So it's nice to have actual friends at school. And I mean, you you you're only accountable to yourself. So if
Yeah.
you want to get bad grades, the only you can. It's not like
Yeah.
you're gonna like get kicked out and they're just gonna be like,
Well,
you should do better.
they
You go,
could kick you out.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
They could
but I just
Or if
expel
you
mean
you.
to
don't show
say,
up so many times, and
sure,
then they could be
but I
like,
just
oh,
mean like like at work, you
Oh.
gotta be producing all the time. But
Yeah.
you can kind of
True.
in high school if you want, and in university
Slack.
too, you can kind of you don't if there's an assignment that you don't need to do because you don't need the grades, you can just say I'm not doing that,
Mhm.
and it's fine. That's what I did in high school or in university especially.
Yeah, I
But you
feel
can
like
do that.
university is a bit of a different ballgame though, because like
Yeah.
in
Well,
high
I'm
school, I
just
feel like they don't try to murder you with the amount of
yeah.
homework
They
and
try to
stuff they
make
give you.
it actually
Manageable.
doable.
Yeah, university,
So
especially like the one you attended, is definitely not going to be like, here's your degree. It's going to be like, you need to rip this out of our hands to get.
Gotta get a
overall, high
C.
school was
Yeah, so
whack.
you get the degrees.
High school was a difficult experience, so it's more negative than positive in my experience.
Well,
But
we're gonna get to the negative anyways. I just was hoping we had more positives to come out of it. Spencer, can you save the
For
show?
well, you do.
Positive high school
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, Josh, you're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah, my positive.
This is exactly the right people we should talk to.
I mean, what I remember about it was, going to, Josh lived sort of close, so walking over to his house during
Literally.
lunch breaks to play Injustice, which was
Yeah,
quite fun.
Gosh,
And
that game, dude.
having so many people, just like, we had like 5 people, and we just were taking turns playing each other, and it was having lunch and stuff. It was great. Playing card games at lunch was also pretty. I mean, a lot of it's at lunch, I guess.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
card games.
no,
I
president.
repressed
We played
most
a lot
of
of
that.
president, right?
I repressed most of that.
There's reasons
know-
why you repressed most of that.
Yeah, no, but it'd be so nice to play some card games again when things kind of get back to normal.
I'll see you guys in 2036.
No, I'll see you in like a month and a half if Alberta goes to plan according to plan.
Look, that's the biggest if I've ever heard in my
All right,
life.
okay, we'll get into that later if we really want to. But yeah,
But other besides lunch breaks, I think for me a lot of it was having spares. You're not supposed to have spares in grade 10, 11, or
But you
12, but
did.
I did, yeah. I don't know. I didn't once. I took Spanish, and then I was in it for like 2 days, and I was like, I hate Spanish. I can't do it. And I was just like, okay. So in my free time, when when there's no lunch or anything like that, I went to the library, sat down, and just read a good book. And I was constantly reading, and it was great. And now I'm unfortunately fell off the reading bug after high school ended. It's just kind of like, and it's hard for me to like sit down and read when I have like the computer, my phone, my TV, like it's all so close, and it's hard for me to just just put that on my head and then just read a book. But I mean, maybe when I grow more, I'll be able to do it. But right now, it's like, I have TV shows and stuff or YouTube if I want to learn stuff, I guess.
Yeah. No, I remember when everyone came over, we played Justice at my house, and that was like actually hype stuff, but I was awful. Like, Andrew, you played Batman mostly. I played Flash. Spencer played freaking Scorpion. I was so mad when he entered the game, honestly, so
Scorpion.
mad. But yeah, I think for me, like I liked Bikeathon actually quite a bit. Like those events were to me like really
What's
cool in terms of like, the community come together. Bikeathon,
Bikeathon, Joshua Johnston.
Joshua Johnston from the Young Humanity podcast, T-Pose.
T-Pose, I'm not T-posing. Bikeathon, essentially, our high school ran, it was like a 48-hour Bikeathon event where we had stationary bikes placed all around in our cafeteria, main meeting area. I don't even know what we'd call it. Because it's not really
kind of just a space, you know.
Yeah.
It was just a space, true.
They just used it for whatever.
It was a stage, technically. There was a stage there.
Kate, was
Really?
it 40?
Yeah.
Auditorium?
It was an auditorium that they just repurposed into like a lunch area when it wasn't being used.
Yeah. So anyways, we would we'd have teams of 5 or 10, I can't remember the number of people, and we'd bike for that full amount of time that bike was on for, and you'd raise money for cancer, and they've ended up raising quite a bit of money. But anyways, I remember those being a lot of fun. Yeah, walking to my house during Flex Block, whatever, was a lot of fun.
Flex, yeah.
I actually took Spanish, and I stayed in it, and then my teacher had to get quadruple bypass surgery midway through.
Nice.
And then I had a sub, and then I finished the final exam in under like 15 minutes. And she's like, "You're done?" And I said, "Yep." And I just was like,
"Sí, señor."
See. And then I just had it in. I didn't do amazing, but I passed. Like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to actually get through this. Yeah, I think it is sometimes good to remember that there are positive moments that happen in high school, regardless of, because I would say our high school experiences definitely weren't the mainstream popular groups experiences where, you know, let's go to parties, let's have fun, whatever it was. We definitely didn't do any of that.
I don't think that the mainstream popular experience is actually hardly anyone's experience. It's just the pretend mainstream experience.
Yeah. I would say you're right on that. I mean, yeah, we had fun as our own group anyways. It just was the fact that
it was a smaller group that we had.
Yep.
Just planned our own little, like, not even parties. It was just like we just went into someone's house and played more card
or
games,
played video games or something.
Watch movies or something like that. Like,
yeah. Just a friend group that liked to hang out, and then that's how we survived.
And now the friend group is dead.
Well, parts of it is sure. Not everyone's together.
Well,
there,
you know,
but I think it's part of life.
People move on to different things. They move. They pursue different careers.
Yep.
Or they're lame. Just kidding.
Got him.
Got him.
Okay, so let's talk about more of the negative stuff, because I think by us speaking on that, some of our viewers can understand or not make the same mistakes or help themselves get out of situations that are possibly negative. So, I don't know, Spencer, why don't you start? Because we went to Andrew down, we'll go back to Andrew this time.
Okay.
Like, if you had a negative experience, what would you do or change? Like, what would you tell yourself? It's kind of like what we did last episode in terms of you, like, going back and, like,
but it's just slightly younger.
Yeah, slightly even younger.
Just move a little bit backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think my one huge negative that, like, sticks in my mind or has stuck in my mind was when I used to play a game called League of Legends. I still sort of kind of do play League of Legends.
On mobile, by the way.
It has gone mobile. Yes. Wild Rift, baby.
Ugh.
I just gotta get a swig in there. But I realized that I was suffering by playing it, like, mentally and emotionally, and just I was not focusing on school as much, and it felt to me like it was time for me to take a break or stop playing. So when I did, not sure how it happened, but, like, I grew far apart or grew far away, or maybe there's a fight or something, I don't really remember, between Josh, Brandon, and some stuff, and I just was like, I felt quite isolated, and I was just, and then I was just sitting alone at Flex, just at my own table eating lunch. And then, I mean, the positive of that was that I got invited into another group, and then I got over myself and forgave, and, you know, then was able to introduce them to it and made an even bigger group, which was, you know, cool, which was nice.
And then was bad at the same time for Andrew. It really depends on your timeline.
It was good. Yeah. It was good as in it helped us get through high school by doing stuff and not just, you know, being stagnant and just being like, it's just us 5, us 4, whatever, and just doing random stuff. Dudes. We had other people, and it was more. Yeah, it was more. I don't want to say cool, but it was a bigger group to do stuff.
Better experience.
Yeah,
it was a better experience.
People challenge you to be different and think differently.
But, like, a way that I would not have that happen, or, like, the thing is, it's like it was a negative, but then it was a positive. So it's hard to be like, man, I've always just struggled with grudges and getting over things quickly, and I'm trying, and I think I've worked on it a bit, getting over like small things or bigger things. I'm trying my best, but, you know, It is what it is. We grow, we learn, and just I think the way to do it is just try to communicate better. I guess with a group of friends. I guess.
Yeah, no, I think like even to touch on that because I was legitimately part of that incident or whatever you want to call it when we were like kind of like all angry at each other. And part of it was like it's so hard in high school, and I think if there's one thing we can push on them is like try and like this is more difficult said than done, but try taking a step back in situations that are heated and like understand that the decisions you make in high school are not life like threatening or life ending into by any means. Like the decisions you make there, you can definitely change them later in life. It just seems like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders in high school, even with such things as trivial as like we had a League of Legends team and we broke apart and everyone was mad at each other, right? And it's like, did that really have any actually value at that
Benched.
time in our lives? The bench, yeah, and his bench. Right? Did it actually impact us long term? No, I think we actually learned a lot from it and grew from that because I agree with you, Spencer, where it's like looking back on it, I obviously we all three of us made major mistakes because we were so heated and so intense about it. It's like if you don't want to play a video game, don't play the freaking video game. It shouldn't really matter at the end of the day whether you do or do not. We should all still be friends, whatever, right? But it's easy to look back at that now. It's like I'm 25, whatever, 7 years later after that period of time, and being like, wow, if I could go back, I just like would slap Josh a couple times, and be like, hey man, just like look at this from just slightly outside of the box because your box is so narrow and it's so hard to see outside of it. So yeah, but I think you're doing a great job, man, in terms of your growth. Like you've come a tremendously long way.
The power.
It's Andrew's
The
turn.
power. Yeah, I understand.
I was benched off of my League of
That was
Legends.
the negative.
That was
the big
the
negative. Oh.
ever. No, it wasn't. It was. I was just like.
Well, you were, but
I mean, I was benched. It was kind of annoying, but it's fine. Anyway,
It's so not fine, but like it's chill. Anyways,
look, there were much worse things. That's not
that's
very
true.
major. Okay.
That's true.
Anyway, so here's for me. I think what's something Spencer said is very true. Where it's like it was a negative his experience, but it also became a positive.
Yeah.
And I think that if like that's kind of the approach you need to take to life, where like because like for me, if you look back at yourself in high school, because, me looking back at who, like, what I was dealing with in high school, I could now tell you, oh, well, I was having this problem. But when I was in high school, I didn't see necessarily that problem for what it
Yeah.
was. I maybe interpreted it as something else. So, for example, looking back, I can say, wow, I had, and I still kind of have extremely low self-esteem, self-worth, self-respect, whatever you want to call it. And that impacted a lot of things. Like we keep referencing this horrible
This horrible
catastrophe that
incident.
Spencer brought onto me, which he didn't actually really, but he kind of anyway. No, but
oh.
I was in a relationship with someone, and they did not necessarily treat me in a way that I felt valued. But because I didn't have high values on myself, I didn't have a problem with that at the time, because I was like, well, yeah, like I'm not really you know, like super awesome. So makes
Yeah.
sense that I wouldn't be treated super awesome. Um, but in the moment, I'm not gonna be like I wasn't sitting there going, "Wow, I have really low self-esteem." Oh well, and then it just sucks. But I was just thinking like, "Wow, like I feel sad all the time. I feel anxious. I'm stressed, and I don't know why. And I'm just gonna try to study."
Get through it.
Um,
Yeah.
but when we talk about like, oh, what would you do differently? For me, I don't know that I would do anything differently. Not because I am happy about the decisions I made, or not because the decisions I made, or the things that happened to me, or whatever, the ways that I reacted to them were
Yeah.
not that they were good, and that I'm like, well, they're fine. But for me, if I go back to my younger self and I say, if you do this, this bad thing will happen, so don't do that, then I won't do that. But then I'll do some other bad thing, and
Yeah.
and then the alternate timeline version of me will be a different person because they'll have learned some other lesson, hopefully, from
Hmm.
that. Because, you know, looking back at high school, the reason that I don't necessarily regret those things is because did the time, I worked, and I said, this is the bad things that were happening. I had really low self-esteem, or I was also really goal focused, so I was so focused on studying, and I neglected
Achieving
all
high
other parts
grades.
of my life.
Yeah.
And that was in some ways good because I got really good grades and I had a purpose that drove me.
Yeah.
But then when I finished high school, when I finished university, I realized, because I was kind of told like, oh, life will be easy if you study, and once you're done school, then your life will be easier. And then I
Yeah.
got to after school, and I was like, oh, my life isn't easier actually. Um, but that's not to say I would go back and say don't study or don't do this, because then my life will play out differently, and I'm going to make
Yeah.
different mistakes, and hopefully I would learn from those mistakes too. So, that's kind of, I mean, it's probably pretty cliche now that I'm thinking about it, but really, I think the most important thing you can do is when you have really painful negative experiences, take them as opportunities to learn about yourself. Like, I to use like kind of business lingo I heard once that
Terminology.
I'm gonna steal
All right. Do
was
it.
your system is perfectly designed to give you the results that you're getting. So if you are anxious, upset, stressed, and you just have a low level discontent with everything that's happening, it doesn't just mean that like you suck or that like just life sucks, even though life is really difficult. Um, but it means that the way you're living your life is giving you these results.
Yeah.
So you don't need to look at it like I have this huge, horrible problem that I can do nothing about. You can actually change aspects of your life and actually change that result. What does it look like for every individual person? I have no idea. But for me, it looked like recognizing the bad relationships I was in, getting out of them, recognizing the way that I was thinking about myself through like therapy and having friends and talking to mentors and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and getting out of that and making changes to my lifestyle, instead of going to bed at 3 a.m. and waking up at 8:30, going to bed at 11 and waking up at 8:30, and making those changes practically. And then eventually your lifestyle or the way that you feel starts to change because you're changing, the inputs to the system of your life, and
Yeah.
then the outputs are going to change too.
Yeah.
So, a long way to say that I have no answer for you.
No, that's good. I think there's a couple things I want to touch on because I think you touched on some pretty cool stuff. And like the first one is you don't have whatever system you're in, whatever situation you're in, you don't have to accept it at face value, right? Like if you're in a spot or a situation where you're uncomfortable or upset or sad, whatever it is, you don't just have to accept that and just remain in it, right? I think Andy, you touched on some cool points. Even you did, Spencer, with how you guys were growing. It's like you can and you will get out of those eventually one day, and you can grow out of those and you can better yourself through those processes, right? Like it doesn't have to be, man, this relationship I'm in is just awful and I'm never gonna leave. It's like, no, you literally can leave. Like relationships specifically, I feel like in high school you're like, yeah, I found the one, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is it, locking in for life. When it's like, if you look at the statistics, and I don't have the actual statistics, but from the feelings that I get, it's like
The vague statistics in my mind.
yeah, the vague statistics in my mind, right? The 99%, no, I'm just kidding. It's I don't feel like many relationships that were in high school make it to like marriages, right? Like they don't always last that long. Most of them end in high school. So don't stress if you're in a relationship. Another thing I touched on I thought was great was grades. I feel like for a lot of people, for me specifically, if I didn't get high grades, which I actually generally didn't in high school, I thought I was just a loser. Like I just could not achieve anything, couldn't make it to anything. I wouldn't even make it to university, whatever it was. It's like no, your grades matter. Don't get me wrong. It does matter in terms of if you want to go into like university and stuff. But if you get like a C plus on a test, your life's not over, right? You can study hard for the next one, whatever it is. I know for me, I so personally took grades as like a personal attack if I didn't get high enough levels. My parents didn't instill that in me, or my parents didn't enforce that. I, for whatever reason, was just that's how my brain operated. And so there's like a couple things I could say. Don't stress about grades. Your relationships aren't that be all end all. Friends or significant others, you will make new friends. You will have other relationships. Like, don't feel that what you have in high school has to be what you have for the rest of your life. It's just not exactly how it works for most people. And then, if you're in a situation you don't like, find a way to change that in any shape or form. Even small wins, small things can make a big difference in situations that are not super happy.
Yeah, I think that most important thing you touched on there, Josh, is the making changes,
Yeah.
because, I think sometimes people expect that things will get better just because eventually they'll get better.
Yeah.
But they never actually change anything, and they still remain stagnant. So, like I was saying, like you said, if you're not happy with your situation, find something that you can change and actually change it and
Yeah.
commit to that. And I think it's really important to pick small things
Yeah.
because if you pick a big ambitious thing, you'll fail every time. But if you pick a tiny thing, like, for me it was uh, uh, read, or I started with write one sentence in my journal every day
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and that's really easy. So I started doing that, and now I do a lot more, but just because now it's a habit.
Mhm.
So pick a small thing that you can change, and then you can change it, and then over time those cascade, and you become a totally different person in however long later it might be. So
There's a couple books that I've read and I'm reading and going to do full videos for the channel. So don't worry, everyone who's watching. What Andrew's touching on, that whole 1% increase changes is actually a massive thing in the habit productivity world, and it's something we're going to talk more about.
you don't need, just like Spencer, you don't have to read. Okay, you can just
Yeah,
listen to Josh explain it all to you. Okay,
Yeah.
watch the channel. It's foolproof. Andrew, you
you
solve.
don't need to know how to read. You don't need to know how to write.
Mm-mm.
All you need to know how to do is
Listen and
listen,
watch.
absorb, and it will
Listening
wash into your
comprehension.
brain. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Exactly.
it's like the
Yeah.
the diplomas where it's like the reading comprehension tests.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of diplomas, I know I've said this before, but my engineering thing where I signed it that says I'm an engineer, my
Yeah.
name is written in Comic Sans.
Yeah.
And it's just and it's
Does that upset you?
the rest of the text is this cool loopy
Fancy font.
cursive font.
Yeah.
And then it's blah 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 blah, the engineer Andrew McKernan, and then it's blah blah blah, and then it's this cool poetry or whatever, and I'm like,
Yeah.
come on guys, Comic
Something like
Sans,
SpongeBob or something
this
like
is
that.
an Undertale reference. Come on,
Oh my
could have
goodness.
picked I don't know.
Times New
I mean,
Romans.
Times
New
New Roman.
Romans. Yeah.
I don't know.
Helvetica.
I've seen that font too many
Calvary.
times. Calvary, no. Arial, no. Here's the thing. Comic Sans, it it's kind of, it sucks, but it's
Yeah.
now a
It's not a
meme,
great font.
which makes it a little better. But something like Arial or Times New Roman, those are just boring. They're not funny. They're just that's lame. It's not
It
worth
is
mentioning.
You
At
want
least with Comic Sans,
wingdings.
Andrew McKernan, but wingdings.
yeah, we should learn how to speak wingdings and
I don't know if
freaking.
you can
I don't
speak.
think
I know you can
wingdings is
type
an
it,
actual
but I don't think you can
language.
Well,
speak
yeah,
wingdings.
sorry, I meant
You can speak
learn to
wingdings. Happy
communicate
face, sad face,
with
money sign, at
wingdings.
symbol.
Yeah, and then we can secret codes. Although that's not very secret because all someone has to do is use a
Different.
image recognition, convert it into
Yeah.
text, and then change the font, and then they break the code. So
Yeah, but who has that kind of time, Andrew?
you pull out your phone, go to Google Lens, click on it, and then you're
Heck,
done. It's
you
easy.
solved it. You solved it, Andrew. You fixed all the
It's-
problems. Thank
I
you.
didn't solve it. Google solved it
Congratulations.
however long ago with
Andrew, I'm
their
giving you credit. Take it.
no. What my engineering thing I signed says I can't take credit for work I didn't do. So
Well, you built Google, so that's okay.
oh, I was not alive when Google was. How old's Google? I don't even know.
Actually, I
Let's
don't know.
check.
Someone Google how old Google is, please.
When was Google founded? September 4th, 1998. I'm older than Google,
Hey,
boys.
yeah, let's
We did it.
go.
We did it.
Okay. Are there any last thoughts on high school? Anything you'd want people to
Netflix
know
was in
about?
'97.
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah, but it was
so-
like the weird video rental one, not
yeah, it
that
wasn't
Netflix.
Like
Blockbuster baby, woo!
Woo!
weird. I mean, sorry, what did you say, Josh? I didn't listen to you at all.
Like any last remaining thoughts on high school, and obviously there's a lot to discuss in terms of what as a high school student you could be doing, but is there anything last remaining thoughts you guys have on it? We can conclude the show pretty quick here. It's all good.
My thought is that don't give up, because if you want to change things, you can. Okay.
think I need inspirational music to be playing behind you when you say that. So we'll record you another time.
That's not very inspirational. That's more, whatever. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's okay. We'll
You
make
can
a really epic video.
play like some doves or like
Despacito
eagles
2.
in the background.
Despacito
But
2.
yeah, that- nobody looked that up.
Yeah, look it up.
Or do. Eh.
Well,
Not sponsored, but
That's what I was saying.
no, I don't think Despacito 2 would sponsor anyone. Anyway, that's my
we can
thing.
reach out to them.
Don't
Okay.
if you want to change something, you have the capacity
To do it.
to do so. There
Yeah.
are things in life, and I would say the majority of things in life are within your control. Nothing's happening to you.
Grasp.
You have the ability to respond in the way that you want to, and you can make decisions that impact your whole life. So you can make changes. It'll take time, but you can. So
Yeah. I like it. Wise words from Andrew. Spencer, any last thoughts on high school and that kind of stuff?
In high school, I don't know, man. Do stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah, that's
Because
honestly.
like, I know there was there's some classes that I took there's a computer class that I took in I think grade 11 and 12 that I wish I took in grade 10. I'm not sure if it was
I
around.
was with you in one of those ones.
Yeah, we made a game. Yeah, no, yeah, I think you were there with me. Yeah, we made a game.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Yeah, we did.
It was crazy. And we looked at some computer stuff. Like that was fun, and it grew me into loving technology, which I mean, sort of what I'm into now. Woodworking as well is something that I enjoy. But then I have to go outside.
Like you want it to be.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it at all.
I mean,
you know
yeah,
what?
it'd be
Don't
cool,
worry.
but
You can go outside once the pandemic ends in 2 years.
true.
Yeah, it's depending
But
on
like,
what
it's
you're
more
into.
the tools and stuff are just expensive, so it's like, and I
that's
need
honestly
I need room for that, and I was like, and I don't like I'm not gonna take my parents' garage, so like maybe
Just
when I
knock
move
down
out,
a few
maybe,
walls,
but
you
like,
Yeah,
know what I
just
mean?
crush
Just
down a
knock
few
down a
walls,
few
yes.
walls. What are they
Okay,
gonna do
gotcha.
about it? You're
Yeah.
a journeyman. What are
Well,
they
you know
gonna
what?
do?
Yeah,
Stop you?
true. What are they gonna do? Hire
Just dig
someone?
a big
That's
hole in
me.
your backyard. Just dig a big
But-
hole in your backyard and make little cave thing that you can. Anyways, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the one guy like that. He makes structures like by digging. You know
Yeah,
that
I've
one guy?
seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Be like that guy.
Be
Yeah.
like that guy, Spencer.
But yeah, that's what I
Hey.
think is
Do you
do
think
stuff that you
actually
like.
to
Do stuff you like in high school. Try to do well enough to be competitive. If you ever go to get 80 or whatever and try to get 80s in all your classes. But like if you don't have to go hard, don't kill yourself studying. But because you want to be competitive if you're applying for a high another
Like
class, university
Because
or
it's-
stuff.
It really sucks if you have to redo classes if you want to get into something. And you
That's
have to go
honestly
back.
such a bummer.
That's more of a bummer than if you just have to do the work now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Those are some good things. So if you're in a bad situation, you can get out of it. Wise words from Andrew. And then Spencer says, do stuff you actually like to do. And like I even add on to Spencer's is try other things. Like don't feel like that personality or whatever you have at that moment is your lifelong goal. I'm 25 and still figuring out what the heck I'm doing with my life. So like don't feel that you are so niched in or
Since the day I
so
was born, I've had the
limited
same
to.
personality.
Good job, Andrew. I'm proud of
Just
you.
kidding.
But yeah, I think those are
For
great
legal
options.
reasons, it's a joke.
For legal reasons is a joke. I think those are great things to focus on and to take from this podcast. So hey guys, why don't we end the show here? I know, wow. Andrew's looking at me shook. I will correct myself from last podcast. We're doing this every 2 weeks. So I don't know what's the next Saturday from here. I gotta check my calendar.
No, dude. It's so crazy how. Just kidding. I know June
12th?
12th. We're not doing
Oh,
it though
yeah,
because we're
'cause
gonna be out of town. But we might do it anyway. We might pre-record it or something. Maybe. Who knows?
Or we do it on top of the mountain. That'd be actually legit.
That would be pretty cool.
That
Hey,
would be
stay
kinda
tuned.
cool.
June 12th.
Stay
That's
tuned.
my
So you might
birthday.
see
It's
us
gonna be
in a
good
pretty
episode.
wild location.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. Stay tuned. We'll have
Stay tuned.
content. I'll have it. I'm gonna hack into the account and upload something without
Oh,
You
Josh's
can literally have the
knowledge
account.
or
I'm uploading a
consent.
video tonight too.
I'm
So
gonna
yeah,
do it.
actually, I'll
I'm
have
doing
my
it.
video tonight to upload. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyways, thank you for tuning into the Young
Hey.
Humanity podcast. We loved having you here. Hopefully, you take
Hey.
something from this. Yes, Andrew. What do you need?
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Mid ending.
Hey, thank you.
Anyways, thanks for listening or watching the podcast. I guess it's just watching for now because we're only uploading it to YouTube. We'll see you in 2
it's not
weeks.
true.
We're grateful for you guys partaking in this live stream, and we'll see you later. Okay, bye everybody.
Oh, I have
Hey.
one last thing before we go.
What if they're
just
watching
hit
the
it,
VOD?
hit it, Spencer.
People believe that Grubhub universe and Jimmy Neutron universe are the same universe. That's just something you can do some research on. But yeah, all right, bye everybody.
I like
This
it.
is the
And-
theory.
And on that note.
Game
Okay,
theory.
bye everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not pointing at you, Josh.